The bridge wasn't supposed to make anyone rich. It was supposed to save time. A new stone bridge had been built over the river outside the capital, replacing a slow ferry that worked only when the weather allowed. The king called it progress. Merchants called it relief. Travelers called it a miracle. One man called it an opportunity. His name was Rovan. He wasn't noble. He didn't own land. He didn't have titles or armies. But he had something more useful: permission. Because before the first stone was even dry, Rovan had already convinced the council to grant him a small right: the right to collect tolls temporarily to help maintain the bridge. It sounded harmless: a few coins per cart, a coin per rider, a token fee for foot travelers. Nothing that would cause riots. And for the first week, nobody cared. Because the bridge was so good, people were grateful to pay. The ferry was gone. The old dirt road detour was no longer needed. Travel became faster and safer. Traffic surged. Caravans changed routes overnight. Farmers brought more goods to market. Merchants started timing deliveries by the bridge. And with every wheel that rolled across stone, a coin rolled into Rovan's chest. At first, he looked like a simple toll keeper. But behind the booth, he was doing something smarter. He wasn't just collecting money. He was learning the river: who crossed, when they crossed, what they carried, how urgent they were, how much delay would cost them. He noticed patterns. Grain wagons arrived at dawn. Textile carts came in clusters. Livestock moved before market days. Luxury goods traveled under guard. And then came the storm. Not a big disaster, just weeks of rain. The old roads turned to mud. The smaller crossing points flooded. The ferry couldn't operate. The bridge became the only reliable path. And when the bridge becomes the only path, a toll becomes something else: a gate. Rovan didn't raise the toll loudly. He raised it quietly, in fees: a maintenance fee, a night crossing fee, a safety fee. Each one sounded reasonable, but together they doubled the cost. Merchants complained, then paid anyway, because their alternative was worse: lost time, spoiled goods, missed market days. In a functioning economy, time is money. Rovan had learned how to charge for time. And once you can charge for time, you can charge almost anything. Soon his booth grew. More guards, more clerks, more locked chests. He began offering fast lanes for extra payment, priority tokens, queue skipping. The bridge wasn't just a bridge anymore. It was a machine that converted urgency into coins. And the city didn't fully realize what had happened until Rovan took the next step. Rovan didn't keep his wealth in a pile. He reinvested it in control. First, he bought the land on both ends of the bridge. Not the whole countryside, just the narrow strips where roads had to merge. Then he built warehouses there. If you were crossing with grain, you could store it safely for a fee. If you were crossing with cloth, you could protect it from rain for a fee. If you were late for market, you could pay for overnight labor to repack carts for a fee. The bridge had created traffic. Rovan turned traffic into a marketplace. Then he built an inn. Travelers had to stop. Animals needed rest. Drivers needed food. Every pause became profit. And because so many people were now forced to pass that exact spot, his businesses didn't need advertising. The road itself delivered customers. The city council began to feel uneasy. They had approved a temporary toll. But now they were watching one man become richer than families who had held wealth for generations. So they called him in. Rovan arrived calm. They accused him of exploiting the people. He answered with a smile. I didn't force anyone to cross. I only built a system that works. The council threatened to remove the toll rights. Rovin reminded them of the contract, wax seals, signatures, dates, and then he offered them something smarter than an argument, a share, a yearly payment into the city's budget, a public maintenance fund, money that would make the council look competent. The council hesitated because his money solved their problems. And that's how power changes hands, not through violence, but through dependency. Soon, the bridge became more than a crossing. It became a checkpoint. Traders planned their routes around it. Prices in the capital quietly adjusted to include Rovin's toll. Competitors failed because they couldn't deliver as cheaply. One simple stone bridge had rewritten the economics of the region, and one man had captured the choke point. So what made Rovin rich overnight? Not genius, not magic, position. He controlled the narrow place where everyone had to pass. And when you control the bottleneck, you don't need to chase money. Money comes to you. That's the uncomfortable lesson behind many fortunes. Some people get rich by creating value. Others get rich by owning the gate.